Welcome, collectors and coin lovers. Today, we're uncovering 5 modern US $1 coins that could be worth thousands, even up to $100,000. These aren't just coins, they're hidden treasures with stories, errors, and conditions that make them incredibly valuable. Watch closely, because in numismatics, every detail counts, and what you learn today could lead you to your next big find. Let's start. Number 1. Did you know that one of America's modern dollar coins, struck in the year 2000, could be worth more than a brand new car, or even a small house? We're talking about the 2000 Sacagawea dollar. A coin that, at first glance, might look like pocket change, but for collectors and treasure hunters, it could be something far more valuable. Let's dive into the story. In the year 2000, the United States Mint launched a brand new series of dollar coins to honor a remarkable Native American woman, Sacagawea, the Shoshone guide who helped Lewis and Clark explore the American frontier. It was a bold move. For the first time, a Native American woman appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. The golden color of the coin, made with a manganese brass over a pure copper core, gave it a distinct look. It stood out from every other coin in your change jar. And it was meant to replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar. On the obverse, Sacagawea is shown with her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back, capturing a moment in history. On the reverse, a soaring eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol of strength and freedom. But here's where things get interesting. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of these coins. In fact, over 767 million Sacagawea dollars were minted in the year 2000. So what makes some of them incredibly valuable? The answer lies in the details. And the rare varieties. There are certain 2000 Sacagawea dollars that have what collectors call pattern, or test strikes. A few of these coins were accidentally struck on different planchets, coin blanks intended for other denominations. Others were struck using special dyes or experimental metals, one of the most famous and mysterious errors. The 2000 Sacagawea dollar struck on a Washington quarter planchet. That means the coin was supposed to be a quarter, but the Sacagawea design was mistakenly stamped on it. It weighs less than a normal dollar coin and has a silver appearance instead of the usual golden color. Now let's talk about condition. Most Sacagawea dollars you'll find in circulation today are worth just face value. Maybe a few bucks if they're in decent, uncirculated shape. But if you come across a coin in pristine condition, graded MS-68 or higher, you could be holding on to something worth hundreds. For example, a regular 2000 Sacagawea dollar in mint state 67 might fetch between $5 and $20. In MS-68? Now you're looking at $100 to $300. But remember those ultra-rare errors I mentioned earlier? One of the most spectacular sales ever recorded involved a 2000 Sacagawea dollar with a unique minting error. It was struck using a state quarter obverse die paired with the Sacagawea reverse, a coin that shouldn't even exist. That coin went up for auction and sold for a jaw-dropping $102,000. Yes, you heard that right. $102,000 for a coin that started out as just another experiment by the US Mint. So what does that mean for you? If you've got a 2000 Sacagawea dollar, it might be worth more than you think. Check the color, check the weight, check the details. Look for anything that seems unusual, like different metal, strange edges, or sharpness in the design, and if you think you've got something special, get it graded. It could change everything, because in the world of coin collecting, sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Number 2, let me ask you a question. What if I told you that a modern-looking dollar coin from 2009, featuring a US president most people barely remember, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, it's true. And the coin we're talking about is the 2009 Zachary Taylor presidential $1 coin. At first glance, this coin may not seem very special. It was part of the presidential $1 coin program, where the US Mint honored former presidents by releasing coins with their portraits in the order they served. Zachary Taylor was the 12th President of the United States. He served from 1849 until his death in 1850. His time in office was brief, but his place in American history was enough to earn him a spot on one of these commemorative coins. The obverse of the coin shows a detailed portrait of Taylor, with his name, the number of his presidency, and his years in office inscribed around the edge. The reverse features the Statue of Liberty, bold and timeless. But here's where things get interesting. These coins weren't meant for everyday pocket change. Most were minted for collectors, especially the ones from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small p on the coin. Now, you might think, if millions were minted, how could any one of them be rare or valuable? The answer is in the details. And in the errors, some Zachary Taylor dollar coins were struck without the edge lettering. That's right, the inscriptions that usually wrap around the rim, like E pluribus unum, in God we trust, and the mint mark, were completely missing on a few coins. That kind of minting error doesn't just catch the eye of collectors, it drives them into bidding wars. Even without errors, condition plays a huge role in a coin's value. A standard 2009p Zachary Taylor dollar pulled from circulation might be worth just $1, maybe $2 or $3 if it's in nice shape, but if it's in mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, now you're talking value. A coin in MS65 might sell for around $5 to $10. Bump that up to MS66, and you're in the $15 to $30 range. And MS67? Now we're looking at $50 to $100, maybe more, depending on demand. But here's the kicker. One extremely rare 2009p Zachary Taylor dollar coin with a significant minting error, a missing edge lettering and perfect strike, was graded at a high mint state level. And when that coin went to auction, it sold for an unbelievable $48,000. That's right. A coin that originally cost $1 brought in $48,000 because of its rarity and condition. It's stories like these that keep coin collectors hunting, inspecting, flipping coins in their hands under bright lights, searching for that one unusual piece. So if you have a 2009p Zachary Taylor presidential dollar, take a closer look. Examine the edge. Look for missing lettering. Pay attention to the sharpness of the strike, and the overall surface condition, and if you think you've found something special, get it professionally graded. You just might be holding a treasure, because in the world of coin collecting, the most valuable finds aren't always centuries old. Sometimes, they're hidden in the modern pocket change we overlook every day. What if I told you that a coin featuring America's fourth president, a coin minted in the 21st century, could be worth more than $45,000? Yes, we're talking about the 2007p James Madison presidential $1 coin. At first glance, it might look like any other modern dollar coin. But for collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, this one carries a story, and a hidden value, that few people know about. Let's take a closer look. James Madison served as the fourth president of the United States from 1809 to 1817. Known as the father of the Constitution, he was one of the most influential figures in shaping the foundation of the nation. So when the U.S. Mint launched the presidential $1 coin program in 2007, it made perfect sense to honor Madison with his own coin. His contribution to American history was simply too important to ignore. This particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small p on its edge. Millions were produced. But as with most coins, not every one is equal. On the obverse, you'll find a bold, lifelike portrait of Madison, along with his name, the number of his presidency, and his years in office, 1809 to 1817. On the reverse, like all presidential $1 coins, stands the Statue of Liberty, shining as a symbol of freedom. But what really captures collectors' attention? It's not just the design, it's what lies beneath the surface. Most James Madison dollars from 2007 are common. If you've got one that's been used and circulated, its value is likely just $1. Maybe $2 if it's in great shape. But what about uncirculated coins? That's where things get interesting. If your Madison dollar is in mint state 65 condition, you might be able to sell it for around $5 to $10. Bump it up to MS66, and you could be looking at $15, maybe even $25. Now if you're lucky enough to have an MS67 grade example, the value jumps again, sometimes up to $75 or more, depending on the market. But here's where the real money comes into play. Some 2007p Madison dollars were struck with errors, missing edge lettering, doubled edges, or misaligned dies. These mistakes, while rare, create a goldmine for collectors. And then, there are the extremely rare specimens. One James Madison $1 coin, struck in Philadelphia with a rare error and preserved in near-perfect condition, made headlines when it was professionally graded and sent to auction. The bidding was intense. Collectors knew what they were looking at wasn't just another coin, it was a piece of numismatic history, and when the final hammer dropped, that one 2007p James Madison dollar sold for a staggering $45,000. That's right. A modern dollar coin, just like the one you might have in a drawer, sold for more than the average salary of a full-time worker. It's a reminder of what makes coin collecting so thrilling. It's not just about old silver dollars or ancient coins. Sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hidden in the recent past. So if you've got a James Madison dollar from 2007, take a second look. Examine the edge. Is the lettering there? Is it crisp and even? Or is something off? Check the surface. Are there scratches? Or is it smooth and clean? If you think you're holding something special, get it graded. Because you never know, your ordinary-looking dollar might just be a one-of-a-kind rarity. And in the world of coins, $1 can turn into a life-changing surprise. Number 4. Imagine reaching into your drawer, pulling out a shiny dollar coin, and realizing it could be worth over $100,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's not a fantasy, because one special version of the 2010 Sacagawea dollar has already stunned collectors and made headlines, fetching a jaw-dropping price at auction. Let's dive into the story behind this incredible coin. The Sacagawea dollar first launched in the year 2000, but in 2009, the design got a major update. That year began what's known as the Native American $1 coin program, a series honoring Native American history and contributions. Each year brought a new reverse design. While Sacagawea remained on the front, the 2010 issue was the second coin in that series. It was struck at the Denver Mint, marked by a small D, and featured something truly unique. On the obverse, we still see Sacagawea, the brave Shoshone guide, carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back. It's a powerful, graceful image that honors her role in shaping American history. But flip the coin, and the story deepens. The reverse of the 2010 dollar features a stunning image of a Native American man planting seeds in a field. Behind him are rows of corn, beans, and squash, the three sisters, crops that formed the foundation of traditional Native agriculture. Above the design are the words, United States of America, and below, the denomination, $1. The symbolism is deep. It's not just a coin, it's a tribute to the strength, resilience, and innovation of Native peoples. Now, the Denver Mint struck millions of these coins in 2010. Most of them? They're worth exactly $1. But here's where the excitement begins. Coin collectors know that in the world of numismatics, condition is everything. And that's where your 2010 Sacagawea coin might shine. If your coin has been in circulation, passed from hand to hand, it's likely worth face value. Maybe a couple of bucks if it's in good shape, but if it's in uncirculated or mint state condition, graded MS65 or higher, you're stepping into the collector's zone. At MS65, the 2010 Sacagawea dollar might sell for $5 to $15. In MS66, you're looking at $20 to $1.40. A coin graded MS67 could bring in $75, maybe even over $100 depending on demand and rarity of the strike. But that's not the top of the mountain. Some coins were struck with die errors, like doubled edges or weak strikes. Others have been found with the wrong planchets, coin blanks meant for other denominations, producing completely unexpected and rare combinations. And then, there are the perfect storms. In one remarkable case, a 2010 Sacagawea dollar, struck in pristine condition and featuring a rare minting anomaly, was submitted for professional grading. It came back at a near-flawless grade, combined with an unusual planchet error, and collectors went wild. When that coin hit the auction block, it sold for an astonishing $110,000. That's right, $110,000 for a modern dollar coin most people wouldn't think twice about. It's a perfect example of why collectors search, study, and examine every detail. Because sometimes the rarest finds aren't buried in ancient history, they're hiding in plain sight. So the next time you come across a Sacagawea dollar, especially a 2010 take a close look. Is the edge lettering crisp? Is the strike bold? Is the surface flawless? Is there anything unusual? If you see something out of the ordinary, don't ignore it. Get that coin graded. You might be holding something truly valuable, because in the world of coins, $1 can turn into a fortune. What if a single golden dollar coin sitting quietly in someone's pocket turned out to be worth $60,000? That's not just a dream, it's the very real story behind the 2008 P. John Quincy Adams presidential $1 coin. Now, on the surface, this coin may look just like millions of others minted as part of the U.S. presidential $1 coin program. But what lies beneath that surface is what gets collectors talking and bidding big. Let's dive into the details. John Quincy Adams was America's sixth president. serving from 1825 to 1829. He was the son of founding father and second President John Adams, and his own legacy was one of diplomacy, intellect, and public service. In 2008, the U.S. Mint honored Adams with the presidential $1 coin, and the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for striking millions of them. That small P on the coin? That's your clue. It came from the city of brotherly love. On the front, or obverse, you'll see a bold portrait of Adams, with his name, his presidential number, and the years he served. The reverse, like all coins in the series, features the Statue of Liberty, symbolizing freedom and American spirit. It's a beautiful design, no doubt. But here's what makes this coin far more than just pocket change. Let's talk condition. Most 2008 P. John Quincy Adams dollars out there? They've been through wallets, coin jars, vending machines, and back again. Those are worth $1, maybe $2 if they're in really nice shape, but when a coin is uncirculated, meaning it's never been handled, scratched, or worn, it opens the door to real value. A coin graded MS-65, for example, might fetch around $5 to $10 from collectors, move up to MS-66, and now we're talking $15 to $30, depending on demand. Hit MS-67, and you're looking at $75, sometimes even $100, but we're not done yet. Because beyond high grades, there's something even more powerful: rare minting errors. Some 2008 P. John Quincy Adams coins were struck without the edge lettering. That means phrases like, "In God we trust, e pluribus unum," and the mint mark itself are completely missing. A simple mistake, but one that transforms an ordinary coin into a collector's jackpot. There are even cases of double strikes, planchet errors, and misaligned edges. These rare varieties are what drive collectors into bidding wars, and then, there are the ultra-rare examples. Coins that are not only in near-perfect condition but also have a minting anomaly. That's where the big money starts rolling in. One particular 2008 P. John Quincy Adams dollar, with a stunning combination of flawless condition and a rare error, was professionally graded at an elite mint state level. And when it went to auction, the room held its breath. The bids came in fast. Collectors knew exactly what they were looking at. And by the time the final gavel fell, that single dollar coin sold for an incredible $60,000. It's hard to believe. But that's the magic of numismatics. Even modern coins, ones you might overlook as spare change, can become treasures if the right combination of rarity and perfection comes together. So, if you've got a 2008 P. John Quincy Adams dollar at home, don't ignore it. Check the edge. Look closely. Is the lettering missing? Are there odd shapes, doubling, or signs of a strike error? And if the coin looks especially clean, sharp, and untouched, get it graded. It might just be something special, because in the world of coin collecting, it only takes one lucky find to turn a single dollar into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery.